This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, and good evening all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Bahamas is receiving high praise for its stem cell regulation from an industry professional who says the Bahamas is setting the standard the rest of the world should take note of. Cleopatra Murphy spoke with officials at Okeanos Cell Therapy about aspects of the treatment and the controversy surrounding it.
CEO of Okeanos Cell Therapy, Matthew Feshbach, says the Bahamas is leading the way in how to effectively regulate stem cell therapy and research. The Stem Cell Research and Therapy Bill was passed by Parliament in August 2013. The law ensures that stem cell research and therapy are conducted safely and ethically, and further sets up an ethics committee to police the sector.
I think if the rest of the world raised their game and came up to the standards of the Bahamas, both regulations and clinical standards, cell therapy would replace a lot of the current medical solutions.
Feshbach says many surgeries would be unnecessary if people were able to use their own biology through stem cells that exist to repair the body. However, he says it is not really legal in the U.S. and some parts of Europe. The controversy over stem cells surrounds the use of human embryos in research. While Okeanos uses adult cells, Feshbach says the controversy has shifted to regulation.
In the United States, the regulations are quite high on one hand, but they're not very well, there's not very much market discipline put on by the FDA, so then you see inferior technologies and inferior standards of care while the FDA doesn't clamp down on them.
With the Bahamas' support from the University of Miami, Feshbach says officials are ensuring the Bahamas is the best place for treatment. Medical Director of Cardiac Services at Okeanos, Matthew Mick, says the facility deals with patients with no other options. He says the process is quick and effective.
It's all done in one day. They have the procedure with the liposuction, then the cells are purified, and then they're injected into the heart, and they leave the clinic that afternoon. So they're just here for the day. And then typically a patient will see improvement in their heart function within the first several months, and that improvement can continue out to a year.
Feshbach says 80% of Okeanos patients say they have benefited. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
In other news, a popular website for travelers unveiling its top 10 destinations in the Caribbean region. Now, while the Bahamas did not make the list, tonight, Director of Tourism here on Grand Bahama says that there are some things we can do to get there and stay there. Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, and Puerto Rico have received the top 3 spots for TripAdvisor's 2016 Traveler's Choice, while the Bahamas did not make their top 10 list. According to the 2016 Caribbean Tourism Quality Index Residence Report, the Bahamas ranked among the top 10 Caribbean countries in culture, entertainment, culinary, and adventure, and leapfrogged Jamaica to claim the number 4 spot in absolute rankings. We asked Grand Bahamas Tourism Director Betty Bethel, how does this report impact Grand Bahama and the country as a whole?
All that should do is make us that much more eager to maintain our position in the global tourism business and exercise that excellent customer service that we're always communicating to frontline and back of the house workers.
At the end of the day, she says many Caribbean islands can offer sun, sea, and sand, but customer service, along with several other critical components, make the real difference.
It is the people, it is the culture, and it's that excellent customer service delivery that will keep them coming back.
She says while the Bahamas has slipped, it is important to note that Grand Bahama Island has had its share of challenges.
Well, to be honest with you, we have, here on Grand Bahama, we have been rebuilding ever since the hurricanes of 2004. We have been rebuilding product. One of the things that you always have to look at is brands. People travel and follow brands, and at this time we don't have any global brands in our hotels. So we feel that in the very near future, when that can happen, that will give us the global reach that brands allow you to. So that's definitely one of the areas that we do have to strengthen up, is having internationally known brands on our island.
Bethel says the fact is we can learn something from every country involved in the TripAdvisor survey if we really want to make the Bahamas great.
We should go to these destinations, take a look at what they're doing, and bring back the strengths that they have. It's a different product, so I hate to compare us. Yes, we know that some islands are gaining in market share, but the product that we have to offer, I think, is superior than anywhere in the world. I may be a little prejudiced, but again, it comes down to how we deliver what we have to offer. And if we deliver that with first-class standards and service excellence, then we should never ever have to think about being second to anyone.
Well, the Bahamas Honorary Consul to Milan, Italy, Michelangela Vismara, says interest in the Bahamas is growing in the European market. She's been serving in the post for the past 20 years, and a key part of her role is ensuring maximum visibility in the Italian and wider European market.
There are Italians who are working in the Bahamas and for infrastructure and at the harbor, at the port. So I think that it's important for the Bahamas to have a wider visibility in the market because there are interesting opportunities here.
Now, Vismara says over the years, the market has become more dynamic. She says the 2015 Expo in Milan created a lot of interest in fish farming and other areas.
One of the other interests that we have verified for the Bahamas is the ecosystem and the protection of the territory and the waters. It's really a good job, well done since many years ago, and it's very appreciated, and many media speak about that. We recently published the new founding of the hummingbirds found in Inagua, and there are snakes which are not poisoning but are interesting as well. So I think that the ecosystem is one of the pillars of the Bahamas.
And on the news, the latest batch of participants to complete the Fresh Start program receiving high praise last night at the Grand Lucayan Resort. As Cleopatra Murphy tells us, participants relived the experience from start to finish.
70 students graduated from the 5-month-long Fresh Start program, but it was 10 among that group who took the culinary arts course and later started their own company. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, promised that group additional assistance.
We're going to introduce you and your concept to the venture capital fund to bring revenue to help you to start your business. We're committed to that, and we're going to work on that effectively tomorrow because you deserve it and you deserve the opportunity.
During the ceremony held at the Grand Lucayan Resort's Royal Palm Room, Darville said he is pleased with the achievement of the entire group, who each studied one of 7 disciplines.
I'm proud of what you accomplished. I'm proud of how this program has given you confidence. And I'm proud of the future that is ahead of you because you made the commitment for a fresh start.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Dr. Daniel Johnson, also celebrated with the group. He urged them to forge ahead despite criticism.
I really feel that you all are ahead of the curve. Way ahead of the curve. And that's my simple message to you tonight. Is be brave enough, courageous enough to get out there on your curve where all of you are and stay there.
In the midst of the celebration, Director of Youth Darren Turnquest invited successful past graduates to the stage as an example to the class of 2016. He said those who survived the program on a $50 a week stipend were motivated to be better.
When I look at these graduates tonight, I understand clearly that we are doing what we need to do, and we are providing exactly what we've asked, and that is to provide access and opportunity to every young person in this country.
Special awards were also given out to several students during the program who would have also done well in the Bahama Host exams. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
In news from the crime beat, more Cuban migrants rescued at sea. 6 Cuban men were brought to Freeport this weekend by the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Bernard Weber. The men were picked up near the Quezal Bank in a rustic vessel while heading to Florida. They were processed by immigration officers and transported to New Providence to the detention center. Meantime, police taking 25-year-old Herbert Seymour to court today to be charged with burglary, attempted burglary, and assault with the intent to commit rape. He was arrested following an incident in the Malibu Reef area last week. Seymour, a resident of Barbados Drive, appeared before Magistrate Rankin Johnson. He was not required to enter a plea and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He is expected to return for trial, which is set for mid-November. Thus, there's more news right after this.